for the children of Palestine, for the children of Gaza. In the past 10 months, a genocide has been killing and has killed over 15,000 children in Gaza. More than 20,000 children have been made orphans, and more than 20,000 have been left as amputees for life. We are here to speak up because the Canadian media does not want to speak up. Because the Canadian government is complicit in this genocide. They have been aiding and abetting this genocide politically, militarily, economically, and diplomatically. It is up to us to speak up for the children who are being slaughtered in Gaza to stop this genocide by asking our Canadian government to impose sanctions on the state of Israel until this genocide stops. Several doctors have gone to Gaza to volunteer for the past 10 months, and they have come back to report on what they have witnessed. Dr. Andrew Perlmutter, who is an American Jewish doctor from North Carolina, has witnessed what has happened there, and we have a report here from CBS Sunday Morning to relay to you.
When were you in Gaza?
End of April for the first couple of weeks of May.
Dr. Mark Perlmutter, an orthopedic surgeon from North Carolina and vice president of the International College of Surgeons, volunteered in Gaza.
So, of all the disaster zones you've seen, how does Gaza compare?
All of the disasters I've seen combined, 40 mission trips, 30 years, ground zero, earthquakes, all of that combined doesn't equal the level of carnage that I saw against civilians in just my first week in Gaza.
And when you say civilians, is it mostly children?
Almost exclusively children. I've never seen that before. Never seen that. I've seen more incinerated children than I've ever seen in my entire life combined. I've seen more shredded children in just the first week.
Shredded?
Shredded.
What do you mean?
Missing body parts, being crushed by buildings, the greatest majority, or bomb explosions, the next greatest majority. We've taken shrapnel as big as my thumb out of 8-year-olds, and then there's sniper bullets. I have children that were shot twice.
Wait, you're saying that children in Gaza are being shot by snipers?
Definitively. I have 2 children that I have photographs of that were shot so perfectly in the chest I couldn't put my stethoscope over their heart more accurately, and directly on the side of the head in the same child. No toddler gets shot twice by mistake by the world's best sniper. And they're dead center shots.
In fact, more than 20 doctors recently in Gaza also told Sunday Morning about gunshot wounds to children. One American doctor told us he even reviewed CT scans to confirm what he saw because he, quote, didn't believe that this many children could be admitted to a single hospital with gunshot wounds to the head. Some shootings have been captured on video. The UN reports that to date, more than 80% of Gaza's population has been displaced and the majority of its buildings destroyed. A reality which has taken its own toll on the well-being of children.
What about the emotional ones?
How can you measure that? I can't measure my own. How do you be an orphan watching your family melted in front of you and shredded in front of you? How do you fix that? Ever fix that?
In fact, so many Palestinian children have had family members killed that doctors created a shorthand term, WCNSF, wounded child, no surviving family.
Now, this doesn't get reported on the Canadian media. And we're here to give you a sliver of what's been going on. This so-called ally of Canada is committing these massacres, this genocide in your name, in the name of Western civilization. They're pretending to defend Western civilization by massacring children and women. Is this what you think is Western civilization? Is this the epitome? Is this what Western civilization stands for? So I'm here to give you another report about the torture chambers where Palestinian prisoners are being kidnapped and held and have been undergoing the most horrible torture and sexual assault. This is a report that was released by an Israeli human rights group called B'Tselem.
Israel is facing growing condemnation over the torture and rape of Palestinian prisoners. Israel's Channel 12 News aired shocking footage of Israeli soldiers sexually abusing a Palestinian prisoner. The video shows a group of blindfolded prisoners lying on the ground inside a prison at Sde Keman army base, which critics have compared to Guantanamo. Israeli guards are then seen taking one man into a corner where the soldiers encircled him and reportedly sexually assaulted him. Israel's investigation of this incident is what led a group of far-right Israeli protesters and lawmakers to break into two military bases last week in an effort to prevent the soldiers from being questioned. Meanwhile, a group of UN experts has warned Israel's escalating use of torture of jailed Palestinians is a crime against humanity. The experts wrote, "Torture practices are irredeemably unlawful and constitute international crimes, yet form part of the modus operandi of Israel's notorious detention and torture system," unquote. 50-year-old Firas Hassan, an official in the Palestinian Authority's Ministry of Youth and Sports, describes not only being beaten by prison guards while in detention, but hearing that their brutal attack is being live-streamed for Itamar Ben-Gvir, the Minister of National Security of Israel, to watch. B'Tselem also spoke to Sari Haria. He's a 53-year-old real estate lawyer and an Israeli citizen. He was arrested and detained over a Facebook post November 4th last year. In this clip, Sari describes Abdurrahman Nari, a 23-year-old man in the isolation cell next to him, screaming in pain and later being brought out in a body bag.
He screamed in pain constantly, begging for the doctor. The guard would come now and then and swear at him and tell him to shut up. In the morning, the guards came to count us. One said, "Get up, you animal. Get up, you dog." They checked him, and the whole place went silent. Finally, the doctor said, "There's nothing to be done." One of the guards said to them, "My condolences," and they all started laughing. They put him in a black body bag and carried him out like trash.
We're joined right now by Sarit Mikaeli, International Advocacy Lead for the Israeli human rights group B'Tselem. The group's new report is titled "Welcome to Hell: The Israeli Prison System as a Network of Torture Camps." Sarit, thanks so much for being with us. Just as we listen to these horrifying accounts, please lay out your findings.
I think on the very fundamental level, Amy, our findings look at the systemic, ongoing and state-sanctioned, government-sanctioned use of torture and abuse in the Israeli prison system vis-a-vis Palestinians. Palestinians who Israel considers to be viewed as security prisoners. Now, this is something that we have discussed in the past. I mean, torture and abuse of Palestinian detainees in detention and interrogations have occurred. They've been documented. But the level, the degree, the scope, the scale of this phenomenon since October 7th are simply unrelated to anything we've seen in the past. And when you look at the way these people are treated, you showed some of the testimonies. Some of the many more testimonies are actually available on our website, and we're sharing them online. You see that clearly this isn't the actions of any sort of rogue element of the Israeli prison system. It's a government sanctioned and also government supported, government mandated policy. And that's the essential conclusion that we have from all of the information that we've collected in recent months.
So for the past 400 years, a lot of genocides have been committed in the name of Western civilization. And this is the latest one. So it's up to us here, residents and citizens of Canada, to speak up and say whether this is in our name or not. It is not in our name. It is in the name of a fascist regime that has been ethnically cleansing Palestinians for the past 75 years. And it is time for this to stop. So we ask you to speak up for Palestine, to speak up against genocide, and to hold your politicians accountable, because they are the ones who are silent and complicit in this genocide. It is up to you to speak up and hold your politicians accountable. Thank you.